stop exploiting Catherine the Sussex and their faction are attacking the royal family head-on to hide a dirty secret about invisible children. Hello friends, welcome to YouTube channel. An interesting article about the whereabouts of Catherine is called Royals Criticized Over Shifty Princess of Wales Statement as They're Urged to Come Clean Over Kate's Health by Nancy Brown. Now, in this article, royal author Duncan Lerome seems to be under the impression that the palace has been less than transparent in addressing the issues involving Catherine's health crisis, specifically why she needs such a long recovery period. I guess he's also upset that we don't know what William's personal reasons were for not attending the memorial of his godfather, the late King of Greece, and he's also upset about why we have not been informed about what the king's precise form of cancer is and how serious it is. Well, perhaps there is still some uncertainty with regards to the king's condition. According to Duncan Lerome, it's not enough for Kensington Palace to simply mention that Catherine is doing well and will return to royal duties after Easter. He wants to know why there's so much secrecy surrounding her health status. Duncan believes the palace should be open about what's really happening with the royal family members to avoid wild speculation and conspiracy theories. Moreover, he wonders what will happen if Catherine isn't ready to resume her duties after Easter. From my perspective, I've always trusted the palace's updates and believe they're being honest. If Catherine needs more time to recover, then that's perfectly understandable. It's not complicated to grasp, so why make it an issue? Honestly, I have a suspicion that a lot of this fuss is stirred up by Meghan and Harry or their supporters. It seems like they're causing trouble to shift focus away from their own situation, especially since they're no longer part of the royal family and might not even be in Britain anymore. But let's think about it, don't the royals deserve some privacy too? I mean, do they really need to explain every little detail of their lives, both public and private? Would an average person feel the need to disclose everything they do just to satisfy the curiosity of strangers? Oh, I don't think so. Let's revisit that Oprah Winfrey interview for a moment. You remember the one where Meghan and Harry aired out their grievances against the royal family? They accused them of racism and neglect, especially towards a pregnant Meghan who felt unsupported and struggled with her mental health. It's hard to believe that these accusations didn't hurt the royal family, especially the late queen. Even though they're known for keeping a stiff upper lip, privately, it must have been upsetting and painful for them. I recall reading somewhere that Prince Philip, despite initially being unhappy with Meghan and Harry's decision to step back from their royal duties, eventually came to terms with it. He even expressed hope that they would find success in their future endeavors. I can only imagine that it was still painful for him, feeling like Meghan and Harry's choices weren't in the best interest of the monarchy. And who knows if he passed away still carrying those feelings of disappointment. As for the Queen, she was incredibly strong, holding herself together as best she could, even though I know she was heartbroken after Prince Philip's passing. Luckily, the Jubilee provided some pleasant distractions from the family's troubles, although the Queen was actually quite ill at the time, despite claims by Harry and Meghan that she was actively involved with their children. This difficult period resulted in 2 funerals, a Jubilee celebration, and the coronation of a king, all happening in close succession. These were significant events that required absolute perfection. Since Charles, William, and Catherine were essential figures in each event, they didn't have much time to process their own grief. I watched every royal event on television and paid close attention to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. I remember thinking Catherine looked stunning and regal, though a bit thin. I noticed dark circles under her eyes, which was unusual for her, but I figured she had a lot on her plate with her kids and royal duties. As for William, he seemed a bit stressed but remained composed. Charles appeared devastated, though he sometimes managed to muster a smile. Throughout it all, Camilla did her best to support her husband. These events must have been incredibly demanding for the key royals and their staff, requiring a lot of time, effort, and undoubtedly stress. It's possible that the 3 royals were already dealing with health issues, but the demands of their duties may have pushed those concerns aside temporarily. Meeting and greeting dignitaries from all over the world is no small task. Could it be that they were experiencing burnout? It's not hard to imagine, considering the fatigue and physical strain involved. After all, they're human beings, not robots. As for Catherine, maybe she did face some challenges that led to a breakdown or required major surgery, or maybe not. Ultimately, it's not our place to pry into their personal lives. Do the media really need to know every detail about the royal family, especially during a time when they deserve peace and quiet? Are people genuinely concerned, or is it just morbid curiosity? I'm sure the family members of the late King of Greece understand the reasons behind William's appearance and are okay with it. When Kensington Palace is ready to share more information, they'll do so. I can't help but add a bit of history here to provide some context. If you look up Widowhood of Victoria on Google, you'll find some interesting insights. Queen Victoria, an impressive monarch by any measure, faced her own struggles after her husband Albert passed away at just 42 years old. She fell into a deep depression, showing that even the most prominent figures can experience ordinary human emotions. She felt a deep ache, longing, and sadness for her husband, sometimes even wishing for sleep to take her forever. It took 3 long years for her to start feeling better, to shake off the heavy cloud of sadness. But even then, she stayed mostly withdrawn, still mourning in her own quiet way. She didn't want to carry out all the fancy duties expected of a monarch. Instead, she retreated to Balmoral or Osborne for 4 months each year, not caring how it affected others. At first, people understood her grief and gave her space, but as time passed, they grew impatient with her reluctance. No one could sway the determined Victoria. Yet, she eventually found strength to control her emotions and became a very successful ruler. She surely made a mark in history. Does any of this sound familiar to you? That's why I believe we should let the royals deal with their health problems in peace and comfort. Because I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed by grief and sadness, I believe it's crucial to give the royals the space and comfort they need to deal with their health problems. Just like Queen Victoria, they deserve understanding and support during difficult times. Let's respect their privacy and allow them to focus on their well-being without unnecessary interference. After all, a little compassion can go a long way in helping someone heal. By honoring their need for privacy and understanding, we show empathy and kindness towards the royals, just as we would for anyone facing personal challenges. Let's remember that behind the titles and crowns, they are human beings with emotions and vulnerabilities. Offering them peace and comfort during their times of struggle is not only a gesture of respect, but also a testament to our shared humanity. So let's extend a hand of compassion and support to those in the spotlight, allowing them the space they need to navigate their health issues with dignity and grace. I find it hard to believe, but Harry and Meghan seem to think they're next in line for the throne. It's like they're living in a fantasy world. The last thing we need is them showing up in Britain with their unrealistic expectations, thinking they'll be king and queen. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about this couple. Don't forget to hit the like button because it helps the video reach more people on YouTube. Also, make sure to subscribe to the King YouTube channel so you don't miss any updates. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.